Hello, Internet. My name is National Master John Chernoff, and also known as Zygaddict on the Internet. And today I would like to show you a game that just occurred at the Sinquefield Cup in St. Louis between Anand and Caruana. And I think it's going to be remembered as one of the great games of the last several decades. And it's a beautiful game, and also it's one of those games that we will also remember fondly because it's by an ex-world champion in what we sort of supposed to be the twilight of his career, except for the fact that it may not be the twilight of his career if he can play chess at such a level as this. But be that as it may, it's it fits into a tradition of great games that ex-world champions have played, such as Steinitz's famous brilliancy in Hastings 1895, Kasparov against Topalov in 2000, and so forth and so on. There are, chess history is full of games by world champions after they have abdicated their title. Perhaps because they could play in a more relaxed and natural fashion and enjoy the game more after shedding the pressure of defending a world championship. Who knows? But you can see it also with Kramnik too. His style became much more engaging after losing the world championship. But be that as it may, here's the game that I would like to show you. And we'll go right to it. It's my profile, studies. Here we go. All right. So, this is, again, Anand versus Caruana, and this game just happened today, and I thought we'd just go over it. So, it begins with c4, the English opening, and Caruana plays very much in a classical form for this, and the game becomes essentially a reversed Dragon Sicilian. One reason that this type of opening is particularly popular for white is because it's a Dragon Sicilian on white's own terms. It avoids one of the things that makes the Dragon Sicilian so dangerous to play as black, which is the Yugoslav attack, because black being one tempo or half tempo really down is enough to make that opening unplayable from that side of the board. So essentially, the main weapon against the dragon is defanged by playing it as white. And that's a huge difference. And so black can only play sort of these, okay ways of playing against the dragon, but they're, if white had this position reversed, he could expect no better than really equality for it. And with that half tempo down, it's hard to even get that. So this has always been a fairly popular opening. So in any case, Caruana played bishop c5. All of black's moves look so very natural. All the pieces come to very natural squares. Looks all very healthy. At first looks a little funny, but then you realize that again, white's playing a reverse dragon, so these queenside pawn pushes are very logical. So queen d6, knight d2, angling for here. Black really can't take this pawn. There's too many tactical issues that he would have to overcome. For example, something like this, and hitting everything. If you try something like this, then blah, blah, blah. And again, this will prove most awkward. So, yeah. So instead, Fabiano plays queen d, bishop h6, rather, sorry. Knight c4, queen h5, very natural move that defends and attacks at the same time. You will find that strong players are particularly good at finding moves that accomplish two things at once. Anand's next move is also one of those, rook c2, a move that could possibly clear this area for the queen to support the bishop in a battery in this direction, much like there's a battery in this direction for black. See how that is? So, right. None of that actually happens. Instead, rook d8, takes, f3 at the expense of this bishop, but as we will find out, it's only temporary. Bishop e6, queen d2, b5, which might be a questionable move in retrospect, but it's hard to blame Caruana for missing what now follows. f4, bishop g3, highly natural idea. Takes, and it looks as if this is questionable because black will play f6 here. And it seems as if you cannot take, because if you take, then rook takes pawn, threatening queen, threatening mate. Is highly awkward. Whoops. But that's exactly what happened in the game. Pawn takes pawn, rook takes pawn, f7 check, king f8, and now Anand uncorks a amazing combination with bishop takes g7 check, king takes, queen check, and black has only the only options for black are to interpose something on e5, because if you move the king, you'll just get checkmated horribly. For example, here, or here, or etc. All of these are happening with check, so black has no time to play checkmate himself. So, the move that Caruana, I think, should have played would not have saved him, but it would have led to an amazing line. So let's look at that first. I think the most interesting defense here was queen e5. And here, this actually looks quite solid for black. This rook is defending what appears to be white's only real threat. But after rook takes rook, queen takes queen, the amazing quiet move of rook e8 suffices to win the game for white, which is an extraordinary development. Basically, there's no way for black to really prevent f8 queens, in spite of having a queen that can go practically anywhere she wants on the board right now, including places with check, like here. But the checks will run out very, very rapidly. So black actually is forced to play a move such as possibly something like here to hold f8, but then queens anyhow, takes, and black can't snatch, or he can, but the snatching of pawns won't help him too much, because after something like this, and here to get, then we have these two twin threats that will lead to a pretty much clearly winning endgame for white. Nevertheless, Caruana should have played that way. Instead, he lost very rapidly with rook e5, perhaps overlooking the strength of queen d4, attacking rook, which is defending f8, queen g5, defending the rook that's attacked, and then this crushing blow of rook c5. Perhaps this was a move that Caruana missed, is that after this and this, which looks to hold, white has the devastating rook g5 and wins practically instantly. So instead, Caruana went for rook takes queen, but after promoting, Anand has practically forced mate with queen f7 check. If here, then of course such things as this are going to happen, and it won't be pretty. So Caruana resigned, and Anand has won, I think, the game of at least the year, and a fitting cap to an amazing career by the Indian super genius grandmaster. I hope you enjoyed this video. I may make more of them, but there you go. Good job, Vishy. See you guys another time. Bye.